5 tiny triggers. 5 massive reactions. A spin bends a football back into goal. A scratch makes glass explode. A few ice crystals open a hole in the sky. 1 brake tap creates traffic from nothing. And bubbles become a whale hunting trap. None of this breaks science. It just shows the part we usually miss, starting with a free kick that looks like the ball changed its mind. This shot should miss. Roberto Carlos hits the ball from long range, and at first it looks completely wrong. It flies outside the wall, outside the goal, almost toward the corner flag. Then, late in the flight, it bends back. The keeper barely moves, and the ball slips inside the post. Most people explain this with one phrase, the Magnus effect. And yes, that's part of it. A spinning ball moving through air creates uneven airflow, which pushes the ball sideways. But the real reason this shot looks so crazy is timing. The ball is spinning while slowing down. Early on, the ball is moving fast, so the curve looks wider and less obvious. But drag steals forward speed. The spin keeps affecting the airflow, so near the end the sideways movement becomes much more visible. The curve tightens right when the goalkeeper has almost no time left. That's why it looks like the ball changes direction. It doesn't. It follows one path. But the bend becomes obvious at the worst possible moment, and the distance matters. A shorter free kick might not stay in the air long enough for that late curve to show. This one had room to develop. So the ball didn't break physics. It used physics in the most disrespectful way possible. Next, another tiny trigger, but this time the energy is already trapped inside the object. This piece of glass feels fake. You can smash the thick end with a hammer, and it survives. But clip the thin tail, and the whole thing explodes. The tail looks harmless, but it's the trigger. A Prince Rupert's drop is made by dropping molten glass into cold water. The outside cools almost instantly. The inside cools later. That traps stress inside the glass. The outside is squeezed into compression. The inside is pulled into tension. Cracks struggle to grow through compression. That's why the thick head can survive hammer hits. But the tail gives a crack, a path into the stressed interior. Once that crack gets in, the stored energy takes over. The pliers don't power the explosion. They just press the button. The energy was already inside. That's the trick. The hammer is the distraction. The tail is the story. The drop isn't unbreakable. It's strong against the wrong attack and catastrophically weak against the right one. It's not super glass. It's a stress trap. And sometimes the same idea happens in the sky. A system is already ready to change. It just needs a push. This looks like someone erased part of the sky. A flat cloud layer, a clean hole, and a streak falling through the middle. People call it a portal. Photoshop. Or a plane punching through a cloud, but the plane didn't shove the cloud away. It started to freeze. Some clouds contain supercooled water. That means the droplets are below freezing, but still liquid. They're waiting for a trigger. Then an aircraft passes through. Around the wing or propeller, pressure drops. The air cools. Some droplets freeze into ice crystals. Then the reaction spreads. Ice crystals grow. Nearby droplets evaporate. The ice gets heavy and falls, and the cloud clears around it. That falling streak is the clue. It's ice falling out of the cloud, and the plane can be gone while the hole keeps expanding. So the plane didn't punch a hole. It triggered one. The cloud was already unstable. The aircraft just gave it the first ice crystal. Now take that same idea and put it somewhere way more annoying. Traffic. Everyone has had this happen. Traffic slows, stops, crawls, stops again. Then you finally reach the problem. And there is no problem, no crash, no construction, no police car, just open road. So it feels like the jam came from nothing. But it didn't. It came from a wave. In one famous experiment, 22 cars drove around a circular track. No lights, no ramps, no lane closures, just cars trying to drive smoothly. And still, a jam formed. Here's why. One car slows slightly. The next driver reacts late and brakes a little harder. Then the next driver reacts to that. Then the next. A tiny slowdown gets amplified. The weird part is this. The cars move forward, but the jam moves backward. Each car enters the slow zone, crawls through it, then leaves. But the slow zone keeps moving back through traffic. So phantom traffic isn't nothing. It's a pattern, a moving wave created by density, delay, and overreaction. Nobody plans it, nobody wants it. But once the road is crowded enough, one small brake tap can become everyone's problem. And the final clip uses the same principle in a much smarter way. Tiny signal, massive group reaction. Except this time, whales are doing it on purpose. The bubbles are not the trap. The reaction is. That's the key to bubble net feeding. From above, the footage looks planned. A ring of bubbles appears, birds gather, the water starts moving, then humpback whales burst through the center with their mouths open. The simple explanation is, whales trap fish with bubbles. Close, but bubbles are not a wall. Fish can swim through them. So why don't they? Because the bubble curtain changes their world. It adds movement, sound, turbulence, visual contrast, a boundary the fish react to. When fish near the edge turn away, nearby fish follow. The school compresses, and once the fish are packed tightly enough, the whales attack from below. That's the genius. The whales aren't just making bubbles, they're shaping behavior. They use air to make the fish organize themselves into a better meal. Some humpbacks can even adjust the bubble net. Ring size, depth, spacing, number of rings. And in some groups, whales coordinate roles. One releases bubbles, others herd, some call, some lunge. So this isn't random bubble blowing. It's learned, flexible hunting, and it brings the whole video together. A spin changes the air around a ball. A scratch releases stress inside glass. An aircraft triggers freezing inside a cloud. A brake tap becomes a wave through traffic. And bubbles change how fish move. Different clips, same pattern. The visible thing is not the whole story. The real action is in the system around it. One spin, one crack, one ice crystal, one brake tap, one bubble. That's all it took. Not because science broke, because science was working perfectly, in a way our brains didn't expect. So which one felt the most impossible? The free kick, the glass, the cloud hole, the traffic jam, or the whales? Because honestly, that glass still feels like it chooses violence.